Hi, my name is Anthony, and this is my presentation on exploring life writing. So, first of all, what is life writing? Now, the term life writing encompasses autobiographical genres such as memoirs, diaries, journals, and letters. This form of writing allows authors the chance to display experiences, memories, and portray their personal identities. Beyond personal identity, life writing can also be inspired by everyday items such as buttons from an old fur coat. Robertson highlights that non-human objects can be used as a springboard to subjective insight. Or, in other words, each object has its own story to tell, and its depiction lies solely in the author's imagination. Purposes of life writing. There are numerous applications of life writing, including both social and personal purposes. In terms of personal expression, it facilitates the processing of life events from the lens of the author. On a social level, life writing can empower culture, foster understanding, and challenge societal norms. Both of these themes can be seen in the course reading Unpolished Gem from Alice Pung portraying her Asian Australian identity. This is evident through her controversial use of self-inflicted derogatory terms such as banana children on page 198. Explaining this as children who were yellow on the outside but believed they could be completely white on the inside. This passage portrays a uniquely powerful insight into her own personal experience as an Asian Australian woman and Pung's conflict with racial profiling throughout her childhood. Personal journals. Throughout the course, I have compiled a weekly journal displaying different forms of life writing. For instance, my week 7 entry on my personal collection of Dragon Ball Z manga reflects on how my strength of character was formed by fictional heroes throughout key moments of adolescence. My piece on Melbourne Central focuses on connection to place, positioning the reader in the bustling shopping mall. My soccer story portrays a distinct personal memoir, highlighting a key moment in my connection to the sport, with a wider branching connection to identity and shared identity throughout my teammates. Language and literary features. Life writing often relies on first-person narration, emotion, and vivid sensory detail to draw readers into lived experiences. In my week 9 journal entry on bodies, I wrote, "The bass is physical, more than a sound. It's a living, pulsing beast, thudding through my chest, vibrating to my core." This language is physical and immediate, capturing the adrenaline of that moment where I was in the rave. Similarly, in the Diary of a Young Naturalist, the author McAnulty uses detailed sensory information to immerse readers in the moment as seen on page 68. This is highlighted through the excerpt. The colours on Raflin are mostly natural and muted in this early spring light, tones that are tolerable to me. Bright colours cause a kind of pain, a physical assault of the senses. Life writing in secondary English classrooms. Students in secondary English benefit from life writing as it allows them to explore their identities and establish their voice. It complements the Australian curriculum's emphasis on personal writing with a sustained voice, selecting and adapting text structures, literary devices, and language for purpose and audience. Students may, for instance, write journal entries in response to a suggestion such as "a moment that changed me," which would help them become more self-aware and proficient writers. Furthermore, life writing can also be utilized as a safe access point for any potential issues that learners may be facing outside of school. For example, as an access point for mental health discussions. As I read Working Class Man by Jimmy Barnes, mental health was a key theme of this autobiography. This form of life writing encourages open and respectful conversations around trauma and recovery in a secondary setting, fighting against the stigma typically surrounding mental health and recovery. Considerations when applying life writing. Teaching life writing requires care. We must respect students' privacy and provide them with the choice of maintaining what they write private, as they may share deeply personal stories. Building confidence and trust can be facilitated by scaffolding using mentor texts, such as Working Class Man by Jimmy Barnes, explicit prompts, and reflective writing examples. During this course, I kept my own diary, which helped me appreciate how powerful writing is, but also how vulnerable it can feel. I avoided the challenging thoughts on some days and wrote freely about them on others. Students also experience this kind of stress. Life writing creates space for voice, identity, and healing, but only when we teach with empathy. And this is a list of my references, and thank you for listening.